What's up, guys? It's Nick. Back with another video, and today it's gonna be like a day in the life of training. It's Monday. No work today, no school. It's day one of the program. We're gonna get some hitting in, some throwing in, some lifting. It's gonna be a good day for training. I'm excited to be back. I was kind of itching to do this all night, just get back to it, start training again. And yeah, so I'm basically going to explain it, what we're going to do. We're going to start off on the throwing side today. I have like a little plyo velo day, nothing too crazy. Then I have a hitting day, we're going to do some overload, underload, just some game-like swings, just getting loose again. And then lifting, we got a nice little lower body day. So, to get into it, for the throwing and hitting, it's not going to be about volume at all. We're going to try to keep it, nice and short, have intent behind it. Nothing crazy, just getting some swings and getting some good throws in. The intent today is, to move fast on the baseball and throwing side of things. In the weight room, it's going to be, focusing on that eccentric strength, just building the foundation for, the later months. And, I'm excited to get into it. I'll catch you guys when I get to the field.
Just got back today. Them wild-eyed boys that had been away haven't changed, had much to say. But man, I still think them cats are crazy. They were asking if you were around, how you was, where you could be found. Told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. The boys are back in town, boys are back in town. I said, that chick that used to dance a lot, every night she'd be on the floor shaking what she'd got. Man, when I tell you she was cool, she was red hot. I mean, she was steaming. And that time over at Johnny's place, well, this chick got up and she slapped Johnny's face. Man, we just fell about the place. If that chick don't wanna know, forget her. The boys are back in town, the boys are back in town. I said, the boys are back in town. 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 Spread the word around. Guess who's back in town? You spread the word around. Friday night they'll be dressed to kill down at Dino's Bar and Grill. The drink will flow and blood will spill. And if the boys wanna fight, you better let them. That jukebox in the corner blasting out my favorite song. The nights are getting warmer, it won't be long. Won't be long till summer comes. Now that the boys are here again. The boys are back in town, boys are back in town. The 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 boys are back in town. Spread the word around. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town.
What's up, guys? So we just got done with the hitting and throwing portion of the day. Just kind of like editing those clips right now. And honestly, I felt pretty good. Like with the throwing, my arm's a little sore, but not too hard. There was some accuracy issues, but for the most part, you know, the throws were all right. They felt fine. It felt good getting some movement in. Also, the warm ups to everything felt good. Just training with a soccer ball, doing some dynamic stuff, just moving again. You know, it felt great getting out there on the field, just putting the work in. First time in like days that I've just been able to get a training session like that. A training session like that, but that was like the first time I've been able to do that in like months. Just like be able to focus on me only. It took about like an hour and 30 minutes to do all that, which y'all are gonna see. I'm gonna condense it down to like a short period of time, but an hour and 30 minutes just focused on, getting more athletic, just throwing the ball, working on my movement, all that, and it felt great. And the hitting side of things, unlike when we took the exit velos, my hitting felt smooth. Like my swing felt repeatable. The one hand drills just kind of flew. The dry reps kind of flew. The medicine ball movement prep. Then all the, overload, underload swings. That was kind of where I saw the biggest hiccups in my swing. Like it didn't feel as controlled. But, we'll work on that. And then after that, the oppo and middle swings, everything felt controlled. And I'm excited for that, for day one to, feel like I can flow in the batter's box. I mean, that was the main goal of today, just getting out to a field, and that's why I kind of did it all on the turf field, just so I could, like, move. It's different than just being in your garage and hitting, in such a limited space or, just like a cage. I was in an open field where I could do a lot of different movements, and that's kind of the goal this summer, and we're going to keep working on it. But, yeah, I'm going to go hit a lift soon. I got to eat, finish condensing these videos down, but I'll catch y'all later. Yo, what's up, guys? So basically right now I'm going to take you guys through my warm-up and explain the workout that's going to follow. So right here, we're just doing some stability, with the kettlebells. Just trying to get my hip flexors warmed up. This is just overall very good for balance. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. As a baseball player, I'm on one leg a lot of the times, so I need to do this for my balance. So as you can see here, just doing some, I like to call them Statue of Liberties. I just hold it for 20 seconds with an 18-pound kettlebell. Opposite arm, opposite leg up, It's great for, just getting me ready for the lift, making sure I'm strong, I have stiff ankles, just making sure everything's right. Also, quick disclaimer, this is not going to be my full workout. I'm missing, some of the warm-up and some of the mobility. It was just very crowded in the gym today, so, recording didn't make sense. But tomorrow I should get, like, better angles and a better video, of a upper body workout. But yeah, right here, it's just more of the same. We're kind of doing some good kettlebells, up and under, around the world, just getting the balance right. Single leg balance, once again, very important. And then, yeah, so I'll kind of explain the workout as it goes. It's basically an eccentric workout. This is phase one. We're trying to build the foundation for the other phases. We're trying to build some muscle, get stronger. So you're going to see a lot of eccentric, like slow eccentrics on the lift. Like you'll see 3 seconds on the way down. You'll see, just... It's not going to be as explosive, At the start, we have some explosive box jumps, with the medicine ball. But that's really it, for the explosiveness. Really, you're going to see on the squats, on the hip thrust, and the split squats. It's very slow, slow eccentric, just controlling the weight, building the muscle. And, that's what's going to get us right. So here, like I said, just getting the hips, glutes activated. And over here, this is some interval assault bike training. I love doing this to warm up. I'll do 10, 20 intervals, which is 10 seconds, maximum 10, 20 seconds off. I'll do 4 of them before my workout, just get the blood flowing, the heart rate pumping. You know, it's a great way to get your workout started. And, this is kind of like, I think, the last thing I do before the actual workout starts. But yeah, this is, like I said, it's just a quick warm up. I didn't get it all on footage, and you guys aren't going to see recovery. But quick warm up, get the blood flowing. We're going to get into some mobility soon. So, yep, over here, just some hip 90/90s. Also paired it with some glute bridges to start, unweighted. You know, just trying to get my hips going through a full range of motion. That's really important. I used to suffer from hip pain a lot in my younger days, freshman year when I was like 14, 15, even going on 16. I didn't have mobile hips. As you can see, a lot of this warm up, it's getting the hips mobile, getting the hips in good positions, just ready to attack a lift. You know what I mean? It's a dynamic warm up. There's not a lot of downtime, but yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Enjoy the workout.
I got my head checked by a jumbo jet. It wasn't easy, but nothing is. No. When I feel heavy metal, and I feel that I need when I lie and I'm easy all of the time, but I'm never sure why I need you. Please I need ya. I got my head down when I was young. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. When I feel heavy metal, and I feel that I need when I lie and I'm easy all of the time, but I'm never sure why I need you. Please I need ya. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Driving faster in my car, falling farther from just what we are. Smoke a cigarette and lie some more. These conversations kill. Falling faster in my car. Time to take her home. Her dizzy head is contemplated. Time to take her ride. It leaves today. No conversation. Time to take her home. Her dizzy head is contemplated. Time to wait too long. To wait too long. To wait too long.
So that was a fucking lift. That shit took it all out of me. That lift was insane. Like, I hadn't done anything like that in a while. Like, throughout the whole season, I was kind of just doing explosive stuff, not a lot of, high rep, high eccentric. It was like explosive, low reps, low weight. So doing a lift like that where the weight was a little heavier, not too heavy because we're still trying to get high reps, so not as heavy as like some of the stuff I was doing in season, but doing something where I had to fucking grind to get the weight up. Like I had to grind on those squats. Like that 6 reps was not easy. Like my body was so conditioned to like doing 3 reps or 4 reps. Like by the time I was like, for example, in the squat, I was at the 3rd rep. Like I was like, I can't do this. But I pushed through. I had the safety bars, so I got it done. But that workout, it was brutal, especially for day one, first day working out in like 12 days. Um, that was a hard workout. Like I said, tomorrow I'm gonna try to get better quality footage. It'll probably be just like a full gym vlog. Today was kind of just a bit of everything. Like we had the throwing, the baseball, the lifting. This is kind of a long video. But I'm excited. Today it went well. I feel fucking beat. My legs hurt. My arm's feeling decent. Better than it was earlier because I got in the gym and I did some mobility stuff after my workout. Got in the sauna. Like I said, the recovery was on point today. Did what I had to do. But yeah, that was a fucking hard workout. It was a long day. It's like 7 o'clock. I gotta get up early tomorrow because, like I said, do a little bit of hitting, some light hitting, light throwing. Then we got an intense lift, but upper body. I'm excited because this is the moment right here. These are the stages. These next 2 months, phase 1 and 2. We're gonna be getting stronger. Like my body comp is gonna start looking way different. I'm gonna look a lot bigger, and it's gonna be crazy. Just like seeing the transformation. Like I said, locker room was crowded as fuck today, so I couldn't like take any progress pics or nothing. But tomorrow we're definitely gonna try to get in there early and get some fire pics in. But yeah, a great day. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I gotta eat, sleep. I still gotta study because I got a fucking exam coming up. But not a bad day at all. Not at all. So